You're listening to the Level Best Network.
This is the Intercut Insider Live, episode number 102. The Intercut Insider Live is brought to you by Magical Journeys, the fine folks over there who are Intercot's official travel agency. They're also the Disney vacation experts, and also by Patrick and friends at the Official Ticket Center for tickets to your favorite Central Florida theme parks and attractions at buku discounted rates. Welcome aboard, everybody. Episode 102, the Electric Boogaloo, apparently, according to Jason at least. We're breaking.
Alliteration's important.
Yes, very, very important.
Yeah, exactly. So, along with me tonight, we've got Ian. Ian?
Yes, you do.
Yes.
That is a fact.
How about them Eagles? Let's skip that.
Yeah.
Carolyn, who's losing a lung.
Yeah, I have Patty and Selma voice tonight.
Wow, that's funny.
Homer.
It's awesome.
I have a bad case of whooping cough.
Did you get that from your? Did you get that from your husband?
No, I gave it to him.
Oh, you gave it to him.
Did
That
you?
was good.
He's not happy.
You.
I saw him mention some disease on his Facebook today that I've never heard of.
The
It was
official name is
psychopertussis.
parapertussis. If you just have pertussis, you're vaccinated when you're a kid when you get your tetanus shot. But they don't have a vaccine for the other version of whooping cough, which is parapertussis. And basically, it's also known as the 100-day cough. So I'm about 6 weeks in. I got another month and a half to go to 2 months. So.
And welcome aboard Medical Talk. Call in with all your illnesses. We've got doctors standing by. And
Hey, Justin the Pines just scored.
just
Jeez.
Really? It's not bad
Did
enough
they?
he does
I'm watching the
play-by-play
game. I
on
don't see anything.
Facebook that he has to now give it during the podcast.
6-0.
So,
No, if you're looking at the fumble return,
other
that
than
was
that, we've got the J4 crew. Jason,
Howdy.
I don't think that.
Justin,
hello.
Jennifer,
Hello.
and me.
You know,
still
I just
John.
would like to point out that
Yes.
there are only 2 people on this
What?
podcast
Wait, hold on,
whose
hold
names
on.
don't start with a J. Hey, Carolyn, do you feel left out? I do. Like I'm
I
out
know.
of today. We got Jason, Jen,
That's what I
Justin,
said.
and John.
J4.
Hey, Ian,
we'll call you
can be
Gian.
jerk.
Ooh.
My middle name starts
Wow.
Yeah,
What?
that's
You could spell your names with a silent J, and then that would be.
my middle name
That's
starts
all
with
that.
a J.
What you realize, Ian, your name in Gaelic is
Yes, John.
John. So you're an honorary member of
There
the
you
J
go.
crew.
Jan. Is that how you're supposed to say it? Jan.
Yeah.
Jan.
No, I don't know.
Jan.
Right? Maybe in Norway.
Jan.
Those who speak the spirit of Norway.
Norway.
Yeah, so new a cappella group coming to you soon. J4. Wow.
Touring with 98 degrees.
Yeah, exactly. So
Soon to be it.
welcome aboard. Welcome home.
Welcome.
Welcome home.
Welcome home. Yeah.
Yes.
Welcome.
So we're back. It's been a little while. Of course, some weather rolled through. At least here it did, in Florida and Texas, and since the last podcast. I don't know about you guys, but it didn't look good for Hilton Head there for a while. It was kind of crazy. And in the end, we ended up getting some tropical storm winds from Irma and Harvey shellacked Texas, and Irma pretty much took out the Keys and a lot of the Caribbean, at least from...
Yeah, and now
I've been
Maria's coming through the Caribbean on the same island, so God knows what'll be left of that. when
Yeah,
it's done.
I mean, I feel halfly responsible. Last time when my wife and I got married, we went to the Virgin Islands. The year later, they got hit by a huge hurricane, and then we went back for our 25th anniversary, and it's a year later. I'm not going to be... They're going to stop me, like, literally from getting on the
You're not
plane
allowed to
the
come.
next
Gonna be
time.
like,
Please don't
hey,
come to
I mean,
Canada.
It's
Hey, Hurricane Yaglenski, if you could just
I
not
know.
come here anymore.
I know. Well, it's crazy, though. I mean, if you look, I mean, they're just devastated. I mean, it's a sad situation there, and quite frankly, in the Keys, and quite frankly, in Texas, in a lot of areas too, as well. But I mean, it seems like
Well,
Texas
we were just
has
saying-
been bouncing back a little.
We were
bit.
just saying before we started recording, Cindy's kids had the week off school, and now they're just getting back into the swing of things.
right.
And she's up further north from the Keys, so
Yep.
it
She's
affected a
cutting
lot
down
of people.
trees and stuff.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it pretty devastating, and now it's hurricane season, and there's more on the way. So by the time this comes out, like you said, what is it, Maria? How do you
Maria.
solve a problem like Maria?
Cause problem.
God.
On the way. Yeah.
Oh, no, you
Correct.
did.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but
You're wrong.
ICOT 15. Weren't you folks all worrying about Hurricane
Stupid Sandy. That was
Stupid Sandy.
Stupid Sandy.
Yep.
Sandy decimated my hometown.
Yep.
We're still rebuilding.
Yep. Yeah.
Wow.
So, and we're actually supposed to, because we're right on the beach where I live, supposed to get hurricane or whatever it is now.
Jose.
Is supposed to be hitting us tomorrow. So, I mean, we did a little preparation today, made sure everything's charged and, whatnot. I mean, there's really so much you can do now.
Out of everybody on the podcast, who's actually been through the whole waiting for a hurricane to arrive and all that kind of stuff? I mean,
The most
I have.
Jen and I have been through as Canadians, the little Canucks here, was last August. We were at Disney World, and there was like a Category 1 going nearby, like we might get just the outer winds.
outer bands. Yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't. It was just, wow, that's a lot of rain, but it wasn't bad.
I can tell you, having been through it, it's like, it's paralyzing. It just almost stops your life because you become completely obsessed with the Weather Channel and watching what's on and where it's going and the projected paths, and you start learning about stuff and eye wall replacement, and you're becoming an amateur meteorologist by the end of it, but and stocking up and on supplies and things like that. It's crazy. I
remember when Hurricane Gloria, I think that was 1986 or something like that. Basically, the eye of it went right over
Hurricane
Rockaway.
Gloria. Yeah, I remember
And,
that.
I remember being here, and I remember walking up to the boardwalk in the eye. And it's when you're in the eye, you see it on TV, but to actually be in it, it's like there's nothing going on. Right. It's just the sun's out. It's beautiful. And then you just start feeling those winds pick up and you're like, all right, it's time to go back to shelter.
Right.
It was,
Wow.
and I don't even know what category that was. I mean, that was, like I said, 1986. I don't remember back then, but
Well, I think it's like a Cat 3. It wasn't
Right.
it wasn't a major storm.
right. I mean,
Cat
and
3 is
living,
pretty major, by the way. It's still, I mean,
you know what it
just
is? 'Cause once
You
it
probably
gets
wouldn't
up
want to
north-
stand out there in it.
Once it gets up north and it gets into the colder waters, even though it's past the summer, it loses a lot of its intensity. So that's why, like Hurricane Sandy wasn't so much a hurricane, it became a superstorm because 2 or 3 different storm cells merged into one.
right.
So that's why, and plus it was the high tide, the full moon. That's
Well, that's
why everything was so devastating. It didn't rain much during that storm. It was just the tides and everything flooded everything.
That's
The
actually
storm surge. It was
Yeah,
the
it's the
storm
same thing
surge.
here.
Storm
Literally,
surge,
there
yes.
was better than 8 feet of storm surge in Hilton Head,
Right.
which
Right.
with that and in above us in Charleston, they had, what did they call it? The king tide or something like that, which is, I guess, is the mega, they're already at a high tide, and then they had that on top of it. So, yeah, they actually said that some places here got more water than last time, but here we did okay.
Well,
but it's
I just
crazy.
have to say, golf clap for Disney World because they let people bring
Wait,
their
I
pets
got-
to
I
the
got-
resort.
Somewhere
Oh,
I thought I
yes.
had golf claps. I guess I don't. Nope, I don't have claps. I thought I had claps. Wait, there we go. Nope.
There, that's for you, Disney World.
Yeah, so if you want
Yes.
some cute pictures, you get to see Christine walking Thor around the Disney
And
resort.
meeting characters.
Yep.
And they would have puppy parades in the lobbies of the hotel and like get your dog's picture taken with Goofy and Pluto. It was great.
Yeah, no,
they really.
I really appreciate that stuff because I'm a dog lover, and it sickens me to think that people just tied their dogs to a tree and then left for the storm. So,
well, I can't
any
imagine who
place-
would do that anyway. But I mean,
I know.
ugh.
Well, any
Disney-
place that
Disney last
welcomes
year-
them in, kudos to you.
Disney last year during Matthew got a bad rap for a lot of different things with, a bagged sandwich, like peanut butter and jelly sandwich that was awful. This year they seem to have done it right. I mean, they had meals and everything that you could buy, but it was, they weren't gouging people. There was reports out there that they were gouging, like they were selling a case of water for $72. But if you actually think about it, $3 or whatever a water times 24 is $72. So they weren't gouging people as there were reports out there. And
You're just making you pay by the bottle for a case.
Yeah.
right. I mean, which they probably could have done a little something better, but
maybe that they could have. Yeah.
I think
right.
during
But the
Matthew
thing
they had
about
those.
gouging was
They had those
you know,
boxed dinners or boxed lunches or whatever that you
Right,
could
they were
buy, and they were
terrible.
like $12 or something. This time they were only $6.
and they would accept the dining plan also if you had that. So they did a much better job this time, than they did last year, which was probably not that hard to do because they've really dropped the ball last year. From
Yeah,
all
but I
reports that
mean,
people-
to their credit, you learn, and the thing about letting the pets in, I can tell you that is something that when you're evacuating that you're stuck with. It's like, okay, where do I go that takes pets? Especially
sure.
for somebody like me. We've got 3 shelties, so it's like, where do you go for? I mean, it's bad enough with one dog, and then you start thinking, well, maybe if we get 2 rooms and blah, 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 and that's if you can find a pet resort. And then, of course, all the hotels that would be in the path where you're evacuating, because they force everybody to evacuate the same way, which is going west towards Atlanta from here. And you take one of X number of routes that all end up in the same place eventually. It's like, what do you do? So,
right.
But I just assume stay in my car with my dogs before I tie them to a tree.
Yeah,
It's
that's just sickening.
It's
ultimate
ridiculous.
of stupidity.
Yes.
So-
I mean, I don't mean to laugh because it's obviously not funny, but I just have this image of this dog tied to a tree, like waving in the breeze,
I know.
like, because it's
well, it's
200-mile-an-hour
Isn't
winds.
it
And
just
your dog's like,
complete stupidity. Yeah, I mean,
Well, I think they
what
said
kind
that
of
I was some
jackass
news
thought
story
that
I
was
was
a good
reading
idea?
said that,
there we
that
go.
they were
that's fine. There's nothing wrong with jackass. You can say jackass.
now
We
we
said-
said it 3 times. Sure.
We said worse than that.
Okay.
some news story that I
Sometimes
read
the shoe
said
just
that
fits and you have to wear it.
some
Jeez.
news story I read said they were going to charge the people that had left their dogs.
I think they
Tied
should
up.
be.
Yeah,
They
I do
should
too.
be. I mean, come on, man. They just
Your animals are part of your family. You adopt
Just
them, you adopt them for life, and that's
don't.
that.
What I don't know is like, what about people that have like unusual pets, like a
like
dog,
an
cat,
iguana
taking
or
them to
something
the
like
shelter,
that,
you can-
or a
yeah, like a python,
ferret.
Yeah,
There
like
was
I
actually-
guess you just have to bring their cage and whatever. But that
There was
I
actually a
just
funny
think weird things.
picture of someone at the turnstile at Disney trying to bring their snake in, saying it was a service animal. I saw it on one of the sites, one
I
of the
don't even
Facebook
want to.
sites,
I don't even want to think about what kind of
and
service
it's
that-
just like, really, a service
Do
animal?
you
of
walk
my
him? Like,
God?
does he have a little vest,
I
a little collar on him that says, "Please do
crap
not
you
pet. I'm
not.
working."
Sorry, the word I was going to say.
Wow.
But,
Well, whatever. I guess
That's
makes you
funny,
feel good.
Carolyn. I'm picturing the service dog vest on the little snake with some words.
Oh, this one wasn't a
embroidered
little
on
snake
it
either.
and stuff. Yeah.
service snake at work.
Do not pet the snake. Yeah, exactly. That's funny. It's good stuff. So, all
And
right. moving
also
on.
get
I want
your
to know
golf
what kind
clap.
of service the snake provides.
Get your golf clap out
Who
too,
knows,
because
yeah.
all the cast members that were forced to work at the hotels
Wait,
and
okay.
didn't get to be at home with their family. I mean, they were giving it 110% entertaining everybody because there was nothing else for people to do. So
Yes.
good job, cast members.
They did a great job.
Very
Now-
nice.
Disney related. I don't think Fort Wilderness is open yet.
No, they always
the
close it during
campgrounds is not.
storms because it's low and it floods. I mean, even when you go there on a not hurricane day.
It's a little
There's
swampy.
all water and swamp all around the trees. So
Well, when we were just down there, we took the Magical Express, and it stopped at the Fort Wilderness first, and the road going up was all blocked off, and there was a lot of trees down. With this, we were down. Irma hit on Sunday? We were there on Wednesday. So this was Wednesday. So a few days later, and it was still a lot of trees were still down at that point.
I wonder if some trees maybe landed on, like, the cabins
Trailers?
and smushed them. Yeah, I mean, it is, like it or not, it is a trailer park. So who knows what happened in there? It is. I mean, they are mobile homes, right? So.
Well, they had all the mobile homes evacuated. Just they don't have trailers there that you rent, right? It's just the
No,
grounds.
but it's a trailer park. That's what you'd call a trailer park, like mobile homes, a mobile home park. They call them
we prefer
cabins.
the term prefabricated.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what
We
I'm
call
saying.
them mobile home park.
We call them mobile homes. All
Right.
of us snowbirds come down and see the
Exactly.
mobile homes.
Yeah, kind of.
Trailer
I mean,
park.
they make them look nice, but essentially,
Not
yeah.
PC.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's a trailer park though.
Like the trailer park boys.
No, it's not trailer park trash. It's just
Ian
trailer
stayed
park.
in one of those trailer parks. Remember the bear?
Oh, yes.
The bear that
The
tried
bear?
to kill him, and
Cabin.
he
was
had
a
a butter
cabin.
knife to protect
No,
him.
that was a trailer park, right?
No, we
I
were
love
in a
that
cabin.
story.
There was
No,
no
but
trailer.
I thought the cabins were prefab houses, though.
Yeah, they are.
All right.
But they're not on wheels.
Well, no,
No.
but
But you could if you needed to. You could.
if you had to, you could stick some wheels
Just throw it
underneath
up on
them.
wheels and drive away.
Pull it
I
out.
guess you could.
All right, so enough of weather talk. Weather talk on the 20s. Bing bong. Here we go. Here we go. Now, yeah, exactly. Now let's go to airborne
Now
traffic.
it's traffic on the 10.
Jennifer, how's it looking?
Traffic and transit on the twos.
We got a park up.
Anyway. All right, so what's going on? We have ICOT 20 coming up, don't we?
Yes.
Wait, what?
What?
You
In
do?
24 days, 12 hours, 1 minute, and 28 seconds.
So
Oh my
what?
Wow.
What?
That's accuracy, folks.
So in case you're not familiar, ICOT 20 is our 20th birthday celebration. Yes, folks, we're old. We've been online 20 years. That's a long time.
I mean, in
Doesn't feel
online
like
years,
it.
that's like, it's like 7 years per year. I mean,
Yeah, we're like
140.
140. Right. Exactly. So it might as well be ICOT 140, right?
Yeah, that's
So
Dog.
no, I mean
Dog years.
to your point, Ian. Yeah, exactly. Dog years. We've seen a lot of other sites come and go. We've seen a lot of trends come and go. We've seen Facebook pretty much wipe out discussion boards, but hey, we're still here. We're still
I
here.
remember being back in university and Carolyn telling me, "Oh, you got to check out this website." And it was the coolest thing being able to talk about Disney stuff with all these
Right.
people from who knows where.
And you didn't have to be embarrassed about it?
Right. Yeah. You didn't feel
no,
like
I
a
was
freak.
still embarrassed about it.
No, I totally remember like sitting on the computer. I think it was like a Windows 3.1 maybe.
Oh, come on. It was not Windows 3.1. Okay.
I
Listen,
think it-
when I started,
it
when
was
I
not
started on
3.1.
Intercut, I had dial-up internet, John.
Okay.
I mean, I was on
Yeah.
All right, so
Yeah.
right, so 1997 was the year, and it was Errols Internet where I was working, and we were in this thing called web development, which nobody knew what it was because we figured customers eventually would want to build websites for their businesses. So we had a lot of time because the phone didn't ring a whole lot, and I was like, you know what? What can I do? I'll build a website
How did you learn how to do
about.
like
How did
coding
I?
and stuff?
I started when I was working in real estate and stuff like that. And I actually, yeah, the story is a little weird, and I feel
Working
bad
in
telling
real estate?
some of this story without Gary O'Brien being here. But I was working, honestly, I was working in real estate, and I got my first email address, got a website, blah, blah, blah. I was one of the first people I knew that had any of those things. And got my website up, and honestly, I kept having problems with the website, tech support wise, and it wasn't my fault. So I kept calling tech support, and I ended up getting escalated and talking to the person who was in charge of tech support. And we got to know each other because I'd call occasionally and say, hey, I need to do this, and they don't seem to know how to do it. And she'd work it through. Well, finally, I just said to her, I said, hey, does anybody do this kind of stuff? Do they develop websites? And I had a website I was working on, just learning to code and doing a bunch of stuff. And she said, well, you should send in your resume. And I kind of laughed, and I was like, I'm not doing that. So went back to doing what I was doing. And a week later, I got a call from the president of the company saying, do you want to come to work with us? I looked at your website. Looks kind of cool. And I said, okay.
Wow.
So I went to work as the GM of web development for a company called Errols Internet, which...
I remember Errols.
Yeah.
They were like an AOL or anybody else.
Right. So for Ian, for people on the East Coast may know about Errols. Errols at the time, basically at the launch of Internet Explorer 4, was the fourth largest internet service provider in the country behind AOL, Earthlink, and Mindspring.
Think of who would be hired for that job nowadays.
CompuServe
would they... who would they hire nowadays for the job you got? Would they hire some real estate guy?
I know.
They would hire.
That's
they would hire some guy in Pune, India, for 8 cents an hour.
That may be the case, but I got hired by my good buddy to this day now. His name was Orhan Anaran. His dad, Errol Anaran, was the guy who developed Errol's video stores, which was well known throughout the whole Washington, D.C. area and sold out to Blockbuster. And then they were looking for something to do and got into the internet business. So I ended up working for him.
They've done well for
themselves.
There's a guy.
There was a guy who was at the right place at the right time. He got out of video rental right before the internet, got into internet.
Right. Smart guy. I mean, honestly, very smart guy. Quite frankly, just got into that. It hired me as the GM of web development there back in the day, probably around 96, 97. And then we had a lot of free time on our hands trying to figure out what to do. Because again, it was a new business. Nobody knew much about websites and things like that. So I started this kind of website on Disney because I knew a lot about Disney at the time. My parents had been taking me there since 1974. And I had video. I wanted to get video online. And at that time, video was unheard of. Audio was unheard of. Websites were almost unheard of.
Let me tell you, John, back in those days when I was telling Jen, hey, you got to check out this website.
Yep.
I would crave to have I just wish I could, I'm bored at work. I wish I could watch this cool video on Intercut. Well, you got to download QuickTime.
Or the Real Player.
QuickTime.
Real Player was the other one.
Gonna watch this video of Thunder Mountain. Great, let's watch it.
And then it would take 4 hours.
And it's spinning. It would take so long.
We were doing
or the best would be
it would load.
It would load, and then my connection would drop immediately. Right. It would just start to play, and then I'd
goodbye.
Goodbye.
That door slamming sound.
You've got mail. Oh my God. Oh, it's so funny. But no, it is true. And basically I started the site. I put up pages on every single ride in the park and things like that. And then I started messing around with this thing called discussion boards. And, so we tried it out. We had a really rudimentary discussion board to start with. And suddenly people were showing up. And it was
remember everybody used to think we were Disney?
I didn't tell anybody about it. It just that days there was so little content on the internet. And I had started the site. Gary O'Brien will attest to this as a experiment in meta tags, just to see if people could find us. And before I knew it, we were listed in Yahoo. And Yahoo was this search engine back in that day under Walt Disney World. Google. Yeah, we were one of 5 entries under Walt Disney World.
I found you because I was planning a trip to Disney World, and I Yahooed That sounds so ridiculous now.
Yep.
You know, Walt Disney World Vacations. And
Right.
I think Intercut was the first link.
It was.
And I remember thinking to myself, like, I wonder why Disney has this site called Intercut. That's a weird name. And then I like clicked through and I was reading all this stuff and I'm like, oh, this is really cool. Like Disney's got this really neat thing. And then like as I'm going along, I started to look and I'm like, you know, I don't think this is a Disney thing. I don't know.
We actually put that down at the bottom. This site is not affiliated with Disney.
It's the fine print, right? Like I didn't read the fine print. I don't know. But then like somehow I don't even remember how I found out like you ran the thing and you're like from North Penn and I'm like
yeah, we went to the same high school, so
it's clearly not a Disney operation, right? This guy
Right.
from Hatfield running the website.
Right. But in that day, thank God, quite frankly, Disney's website was so awful for so many years because, I mean, at the height of Intercut, now check this out, Ian. We were doing 2.5 million visits a month.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Wow. Oh my God.
Back in the day. So we're probably doing 250,000 visits a month now.
Still, that's nothing to joke
but
about.
I mean, compared to back in the day, it was ridiculous the amount of traffic we were getting. But back to the early days on the discussion boards, we put the boards up, and I put one board up. It was just one board, and within about a week, I discovered, oh my gosh, like we actually have enough people responding to this that we need multiple discussion boards about different things. And then we started these other boards, and then the magic, the magic of the ultimate bulletin board came along, and that changed things forever. We were probably some of the early sites that used that, which then led to vBulletin, which is the current software we use. But anyway, I mean, I just thought it was amazing back in the early days that we would attract people, and they formed this community and got together on this common bond of, and it was insane that, I mean, do you remember like going to Disney and meeting up with people and I'm going to meet with some people that I met.
Yeah, that
on
would be
the
something
internet.
that like our mom would say, like,
I have the best.
go meet someone from the internet. They could be a serial killer.
Does anybody remember when they used to have the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire Play It
Yes.
attraction
Yes.
studios? So I was there. I think, John, it was for when we were there for the happiest celebration on Earth, or the whatever that was. The
H-Goy? The happiest
no,
gathering on
it
Intercut?
was either that or it was 2001 in Intercut Odyssey. I don't really remember which one it was, but there was a whole bunch of us, and we went to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Right. I know what's
and
coming.
I want to say there's like 6 or 8 of us, and this girl Janet that was a really early member of the boards, she got picked to go into the hot seat. So, you know, the first question they always ask you is, who are you here with? And I guess she wasn't really thinking about her response, and she just goes, a bunch of people I met on the internet.
and that day, like,
I mean, this is like 2001.
Yeah, that's
right?
weird.
Like, so the host, at this point, the host is like, wait, you're here with a bunch of people you met on the internet? And she realized then like what she said, and she's like, well, I mean, it's a Disney site, like, and they were like, oh, okay. So then they thought like she met on Disney's website, and like it was big, like
it went downhill from there.
like
I'm
a
sure.
big mystery. But it was hysterical. Oh, I'm here with a bunch of people I met on the internet.
No, but I can remember that the earliest years of being on the site, and you know, I mean, that it was a little odd that you were meeting up with people that you had formed a friendship with online, but yet didn't know in quote unquote real life.
Your fake friends. We used to call it like I know, how do you know that person? Oh, she's just a fake friend I met online.
Right.
Like it was like not my real friends. It's
Right.
like this fake friend.
Right. It was fake friends. But now I have probably, I don't know, hundreds of fake friends, I guess. Right?
My fake friends are more of my friends than my real friends are.
Actually, that's true. I'm probably closer with some people that I live farther away from than the people that I live close to. So, yeah, it's interesting how the dynamic is nowadays.
It's that community back in the day
very strong.
Oh, it was. I mean, it was hysterical too. Like everybody, it was like almost like at a point, like it was almost like your whole, it was like sort of your whole world was in those little discussion forums.
To put it simply, it was the Facebook of the day. You didn't go other place. You went to the discussion boards to see what your friends were doing then. Just like today.
Oh yeah, we used to socialize. I mean, that's how you socialized. You would have, and we there would be threads about what movie are you watching. There'd be threads about sports. And remember, we created the whole sports forum because there was such an appetite for sports conversation and all that. I think that forum has unfortunately
since had its demise. Yes.
Anybody interested in any other interesting facts about 1997?
Sure.
Sure. Anybody know
what was going on?
What,
this is actually good. Yeah.
1997, the year that that Intercut came online.
October of
we had a very famous death. Princess Diana died in the year 1997.
Okay.
August something or other. I believe.
August 31st.
All right.
The NASA Pathfinder landed on Mars. And it was also the year that the chess-playing computer, beat Kasparov, the Russian chess master, Garry Kasparov. Yeah. So that was a big deal because that was, it was beaten by a computer, right? That's a big deal. Madeleine Albright became the first female Secretary of State for the United States. That was a big deal. Here's a Disney-related one.
Okay.
The Lion King debuted on Broadway.
And I saw it.
When your
Mother Teresa passed away in 1997. Mother Teresa passed away.
You got any music?
Well, it's good to know we're up on the times. Stone and I just saw Lion King this year, so we're right up on the times.
Yeah, good.
I've never seen it. So.
Good to know.
Scientists cloned Dolly the sheep.
Wait. You've never seen The Lion King?
On Broadway.
Actually, no. I'm sorry. I've never seen the movie either.
What? You're fired. Get off this podcast.
I've had this discussion with other Intercoties before.
What?
I've never seen The Lion King. I've never seen Little Mermaid. What else haven't I seen?
Can't be friends.
Those are the two big ones.
What?
But I've seen both of them on Broadway.
What?
Tiger Woods won the Masters for the first time.
Wow.
Titanic came out. The movie Titanic.
Yeah, Titanic was released.
I love that
Mike
movie.
Tyson bit Evander Holyfield's ear that year. I mean, these are some. This is some. And you know what? We lost an icon. Woolworth's department stores closed in 1997.
Pokemon was first introduced.
Yeah. Steve Jobs turned to Apple.
Wow.
God, it was a long time ago.
Jen,
you
Harry Potter.
Harry
Potter was published in 1997.
Speaking of computers, Jen, do you remember how in about 1997 we had dial-up internet and Windows 3.1, and there was like this chat room that you could go in that it would be like it was supposed to be like
wait, hold on, it's Family Podcast. Wait, hold on.
Oh, they were also probably 12 back then.
No, we were way older than that, but. There was like a chat room, and it was supposed to be like an Irish pub, and you would click on this picture of the front door of the pub, and then you would wait 15 minutes for the next picture to load, like, now we're inside the pub. Where do you want to sit? And you'd sit at a table, click on the table, and then eventually, after you go through all these bloody clicking, it would be a chat room with, like, random people, and Jennifer was like, we can't put our real name on there. Like, what if somebody figures out who we are? So Jen's name, what was your name? It was after your Cabbage Patch Kid. It was Bianca or Daphne or something.
Bianca.
Yeah, because we're like, we can't. This is like scary being on the internet. There might be a serial killer out there.
We used to do Intercut chats all the time. Like there was a whole group of us, like Emily, Jeff Latko, me, Janet, Ed, like a lot of it. We would go into AOL chat rooms all the time. In fact, most nights
Virtual
there
Magic
was just
Kingdom.
Oh my God, that was a little bit after.
Yeah,
I forgot about Virtual Magic Kingdom. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I mean, that was the early days of the
dark
internet.
web. The early days of the dark web.
It seemed like kind of sketchy, like we're talking to strangers.
In 1997, you had the Smashing Pumpkins, the Foo Fighters, Nine Inch Nails, Counting Crows,
Didn't the Spice Girls come out around
the
then?
Spice Girls, yep.
Sweet.
Anson.
That's right. I remember listening to that CD
bop.
in the Errols web development room.
My wife.
What you really want?
The Offspring.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We played that too.
That was the year Notorious B.I.G. was killed. Oh, and the first book in the Harry Potter series was released.
Yeah.
That was mentioned already.
Yeah. Oh, I missed it. I was probably.
I was in college. I was in my
Air
second
Force
year of
One.
college.
All right.
Air Force One.
All right. Anyway, yeah, just throwing it out there. My Prodigy ID was DVSG76A.
What does that stand for?
When there was AOL and Prodigy, they would assign you a random name. You didn't even get to pick
a cool name.
No,
you should have come up with a sentence like "Dave, very super great."
I know, but I still remember it to this day, which is
Wasn't
weird.
there something called ICQ?
Yeah,
that wasn't.
Yep.
ICQ doing that. Yeah.
ICQ. Yeah.
And then that was the era of like Napster. You know, when you could just go get free music wherever you wanted to.
All right, we're getting lost.
I remember I would have my Napster stream running in the background, and it would like drain the speed of my internet desperately because I'd be downloading like 80 songs.
And Ian has no music now that he downloaded on Napster at all. Got rid of it all.
No, I've replaced it all with legal iTunes purchased.
Purged. You're right. Mm-hmm.
'Cause
Absolutely.
I realized it was not.
Well, to celebrate
20 years of being online.
Driving the truck back onto the road here,
Oh
folks.
yeah, right. There's
beep, beep, beep. Back it up. Back in the truck up. Yep. 20 years of being online. Yeah, we're doing it October. Give me it again.
13
to the
15th,
to 15.
right?
With
Yep.
a
So-
little pre-gathering on the 12th if you're there.
Yep. So we've talked about this a little bit on previous podcasts, but again, what it is we all get together, we hang out as a bunch of friends for 3 or 4 days, and just have a really good time. No admission price. This is a free thing from start to finish, other than the fact that if you want to go to park events, you do need a park ticket. But chances are, if you're at Disney, you have that anyway. But we don't have this time around. We didn't bother doing any pay for events or things like that. So everything is wide open. We've got a schedule of events at intercot.com/news/ICOT20, ICOT 20. You can go there, check it out. We've got now ICOT 20 T-shirts. Very cool looking. Just got the,
They are cool. They look. What do you call that when it's not crisp? What is the word?
Distressed.
Distressed. That's it.
It looks
Just
like
for
it's been
20 years. It's
gonna look
worn
like
out.
it's a little washed a little bit, already.
I've had this shirt for 20 years.
It's trying to be hip, man.
With the kids.
Yeah, exactly. So the cool thing about the shirts are, if you're hearing this, they are super soft, like super soft. I actually had this shirt from another vendor. I had bought a Hilton Head shirt. I loved it so much. I was like, what is that shirt? I got to find where we can get it. So that's the shirt that we got. And there's, I think, 3 or 4 different colors, men's and ladies sizes, and the ICOT 20 logo, and a bunch of other stuff. It's actually imprinted in 4 separate places. So this is not like a cheap, we're just slapping the logo on the front tee. So only $20. So, and
worth it. And you'll
it's
look
a quality
cool too.
T-shirt that you can wear, in other. It's not like you're only going to wear it in, at I-20. You can wear it whenever.
And I am
half my wardrobe consists of Intercut shirts.
Yeah, and I'm not joking. Actually, the Hilton Head tee that I have that is the same tee is like one of my favorite T-shirts to wear. Like when I'm traveling on an airplane and I want a comfy shirt to wear or whatever, that's my go-to. So I'm just telling you, this is going to be your go-to shirt. So, and you're going to be recognized as one of the cool people. Exactly.
Jen and I bought one in every color.
Yeah,
so we'll represent.
I know. So anyway, they got ordered today, so should be
excellent
before the end of the week. So
I ordered the indigo one because John said that was the best color.
The indigo actually is rather cool. I do like that.
It's like a bluey gray.
So you all know
indigo and charcoal.
I mean, even if you can't make it to the event, the shirts will be available. They'll be available for the whole 20th anniversary year. though we would prefer you come to the event. So if you get them ordered within the next week or so from when this podcast goes online, we should have them to you before your trip. And worst comes to worse, if you order them really close to the deadline, then yours truly will carry them down to it for you. And
hand delivered.
Hand delivered.
You can't beat that.
To you. Yep.
For service.
And can I just say that, like,
yes,
we were just saying about in like 1997 how you would be like, oh my God, like it's so weird that I'm meeting up with people from the internet.
Right.
And like I said, my mom would be like, you're going to meet with serial killers. You better be careful. Listen, you don't have to worry. None of us are murderers.
No.
Well, wait
you
a
are
minute.
not
that anybody knows
None that
about.
we know about. Like, so let's be careful. We don't want to,
Oh,
we don't want to unintentionally, cause John liability
Here
issues
we
here.
go.
Oh, that's true. That's
To
true.
the best of our
The
knowledge,
20th year is the last year of Intercut.
no
Thanks.
guarantee.
Yep.
John is not
But I
guaranteeing
will
your
say-
personal
I
safety.
cannot guarantee the personal safety of
Right.
anyone. However,
No,
that
I'm
being
just
said,
saying that nobody's taking attendance. So if you're like, oh, I just want to sleep in this morning, then
Yep.
you don't have
You
to come to
sleep
that
in.
event in the morning.
Exactly.
You're not required
That's
to be at
Ian.
every single event.
Typical
One
Ian
of us
right there.
will be at every event so that we can be like, hey, we're over here and stuff. But don't feel like you're going to get in trouble if you don't show up to one or two things. It's very relaxed. It's just fun.
Except for me. I get in trouble if I don't show up for something.
that's
so
true,
I
but-
can, much like the podcast, I am the only one who has been on 102 episodes. And if I'm not at some event, I'll hear about it. So I'll be
Somebody will
there.
say something.
I'll be there
102,
with bells
electric
on,
boogaloo.
smiling. Yes.
And I go pretty much everywhere John does because I'm staying in his room.
He's staying with me, so otherwise I'm going to kick him out. So
Right.
Are you guys going to wear like Intercut shirts every day?
well,
and
Ian
then-
only
See, I'm
ordered
gonna
one.
go. Yeah, but I'm gonna go
He
like
has
got plenty.
retro.
ones.
Right, I'm gonna go 15. I might go
Right.
10. I might go all the way back to the original Intercut. Like I'm gonna go. So this is a very
The classic tee.
nostalgic retro event. So I think I'm gonna do a lot of retro on this.
Different one every day.
I might even
You know, we
bust out
could've
my
done-
Yeti T-shirt. The
Coulda-
Yeti.
I
we
got-
actually
Jen's
should
got a
have.
Yeti sweatshirt.
Plenty.
We
of
should have
those.
actually thought about it to do like we did with the Run ICOTs. The
Different shirt
same
every
color
day.
for every day.
Oh,
know,
yeah.
That would be too.
wear the
uniform
nice
of us.
hot pink shirts.
Well,
which-
You're
Yes,
welcome to wear the
pretty.
Run
One of
ICOT
those.
stuff as well. if you
mine
want.
are a little too large now, so
Yeah,
I'd
okay.
have to reorder.
Yeah. well,
There was a
yes.
couple changes to the schedule too
Yes,
that maybe
there
we
was.
should mention.
Should we actually
Uh,
just run through the whole schedule real quick? Maybe.
Yeah, I can do
Yeah,
that
where's
if you
Jason
want.
when you need him?
I'm right here.
They're
Oh,
Jason,
exciting.
Jason.
It's been
Hi,
very
Jason.
quiet.
Hi.
Normally, Jason's
I've
got
had a
lot to
long
say.
day.
Oh, okay.
I forgot Jason was even on the show.
Yeah, he's there. He's there.
I usually do too, so it's all right.
Yep. So, yeah, what
Yeah,
has
let's
what's
run
happened?
it
What's
through
changed?
from-
What do we
from the
got? What do we
beginning.
got going on? Yeah. So,
Running through this. All right, so folks may remember we had the Edison on Thursday night. I think a lot of people were looking forward to that, myself included. They will not be open.
Wah, wah, wah.
So we won't let that dim our weekend.
I see
oh,
what
I
you did
get
there.
it, Edison. Get it, Dim,
Uh,
Edison.
uh,
yeah, it's good.
That's too smart for me.
so all right.
All right.
So
And I like on the website it says since the Edison will still be lights out, join other
know, that's
earlier
true.
arrivals.
That's all
Ah.
Jason.
I see what you did there.
yeah,
You're good. You.
gotta make a split screen or something here. All right.
All right.
So we're going to move the event to the hangar. So same time, still at Disney Springs. We'll be just a few steps away at Jacques Lindsay's Hangar Bar.
Which I just watched, Raiders of the Lost Ark,
You do. Very nice.
yesterday. So there you go. I just got to see Jock.
Start the plane, Jock.
Exactly.
Engine, get it up. Oh, that's just my pet
There's a
Reggie.
snake.
That's
Snake.
just my pet snake, Reggie.
And you
By
can
the
get
way,
Reggie snake
I
bite.
promise-
That's a
I
cocktail.
promise
Yep.
that I will do shots and turn them upside down on the table and say the star. If you will. And Jen, or was it Jen or Carolyn volunteered to be the guy who falls
I
off the
want to be
chair?
the fat guy that
That's
falls
Carolyn.
off my chair from being drunk so
Carolyn.
bad.
Carolyn's going to be the fat guy that falls off the chair. I pointed out that she's neither fat nor a guy, but that did not dissuade her.
But you're neither Marion or a woman, so it's
That's a
okay.
fair
We'll
Exactly.
Are you sure about that?
All right, continue,
So
Jason.
judgmental.
Continue while this spirals out of control.
I think there were a couple questions. Would there be food at this event if anyone wanted to have a late dinner? Yes, the hangar does serve food, but it is mostly like gastropub style. So don't plan on eating a full meal.
And what time are we
food.
meeting?
It's good.
8 o'clock.
8 p.m.
8 p.m.
What does gastropub mean? That sounds gross to me when
it means
people say that.
bar food that's
Bar
not
food.
gross.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like what?
Nice
Like
bar.
fries?
Small plates, shareable
No,
items.
no, it's more like it'll be like fancier wings.
Right.
You know, like egg
Oh.
rolls.
Maybe
You
some
know, like bigger-
tacos.
Okay, so
Like
fancy
upscale-
foods.
Soft
Upscale
pretzels.
finger food. Yeah.
There you
Okay. I'm not gonna get cheese fries, is what you're telling me.
No, you get,
Poutine?
I think
Well,
didn't
there
she
is
say- didn't
poutine at a
Jason say
kiosk
there's
near there.
Poutine?
Oh, well
Yeah.
then.
Daily
I'll
poutine.
slip it in my purse. Here, have a purse of poutine for dinner tonight.
It's the most
Gravy and cheese
That-
curds.
that-
like
that's
in
the,
space.
menu.
That has to be the
Like,
new title.
What
Poutine
is it?
Purse. Oh,
A purse of poutine?
apostrophe.
Purse of
Poutine.
poutine.
Purse.
Right.
Oh, poutine.
Remember that,
First,
Jason.
so poutine.
Yeah, I'm taking notes.
Oh,
Take it. I
God.
know that's.
I did
So-
have a bunch of people I met on the internet also as a contender, but
I like that one too. I don't know. It's
John-
going to be a
John-
tough.
John will have to make the final.
I'll have to
call
make the
there.
final call. You make the call.
So Thursday, after we have our sort of pre-event meet, we are onto the Magic Kingdom on Friday. So our
Friday
first
the
event
13th?
will be on Friday the 13th. So our first event will be the Great Big Beautiful Morning, kicking off at Carousel of Progress in Tomorrowland at 10 a.m.
10 a.m. Okay.
And then, for those of you who know military or European time, at 13:13 or 1:13 p.m.,
Yep.
since it is Friday the 13th, as Carolyn pointed out, we will all journey to the Haunted Mansion to do a group ride through on that.
At 13:13 on the 13th.
13:13 on
That does
Friday.
not sound good.
Spooky.
October, near Halloween as well.
I have a question, and maybe none of us have thought of this. What if we get there and it's 1:13 and everything's great, and we're gonna go and it's a 75-minute wait?
Then
Then
we
are
wait.
we just gonna make the call to be like,
No,
let's
we
all
go.
just high five in front of the
We
haunted
choose to
mansion?
go. We
We can
choose
all
to go.
converse in
And if someone's
line,
seen a 75-minute wait
socialize.
on the Haunted
Okay.
Mansion,
Yeah, I
That's
don't
I'm
think-
just wondering if somebody's gonna be like, no, we're not doing this.
Well, you're with
I
a bunch of people
don't
you
care.
love.
I'll stand in a line for
Yeah.
2 hours, but I'm just saying.
we'll just all go hit those annoying things in the line for like
Yeah.
75
stand
minutes.
in line and eat poutine out of your purse.
Left,
There
it'll
might
be
be some
leftover.
You know what I
leftovers
like
protein.
from
about
the night
Jen?
before.
Jen doesn't say a lot, but when she does, it's like high quality. You know, she
Right,
comes
there's-
in with a really.
Quality, not quantity.
She's a
That's
problem
right.
solver.
She emphasizes quality for sure.
There you go.
That's right.
I choose
So-
my words wisely.
Moving on.
Moving on. So after we've done that, it's time for trivia at Tortuga Tavern. That will be our event hosted by Magical Journeys. So it'll be a
Yay.
fun trivia stop.
Okay.
And what time is that?
That is at 2:30 p.m.
2:30. Okay, so by the time I get off
So-
of the 75-minute wait for.
By the time we open
You'll
7,
Just make it.
Mansion will be just in time.
Cut it close.
Just in time. Get it.
Let's see what you did there.
Ex-Jungle Cruise skipper. I'm not really. So, across from the Jungle Cruise, good segue, we will then next go to Dole Whips and Tiki Birds. So it'll be our tropical
that.
treat time. So at 4 p.m., so I have a little bit of time there to make our way over after the trivia, but it will be right next door. So we will enjoy Dole Whips or a float if you would prefer, and
And
then
have you-
go on to the Tiki Birds.
Pause right there. Have you guys seen the new float?
Don't they
The
have some
citrus
orange
Wait, what?
flavor?
float with
What?
Yeah.
orange soda.
Yep.
Dun,
Yeah.
dun,
That sounds
dun.
I'm getting that.
I love orange soda.
There's now a citrus swirl float at, no, it's not at Aloha Isle, it's at
No.
Sunshine Seasons.
Yeah, with
But
orange pop.
In striking distance as well.
I've been thinking about that.
Pop. Orange.
Yeah, I've
wanna
been
get
thinking
one
about
of
that
those.
too, Jen.
Got a little pop.
I'm getting my own. You don't share with me.
I'm not sharing with the whooping
nobody's
cough,
sharing with
girl.
you.
You get
with
no
your,
poutine either, Jen.
with your hacking whooping cough thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
keep
right.
it.
Yeah,
100-day
you don't
cough.
share
Yes,
that.
no one will be
Nobody's
sharing.
She
Yeah,
says
I'm not,
poutine.
All right.
I don't want any of Carolyn's poutine.
Whooping poutine.
Moving on.
Moving on. All right. So
Again,
that
very
will
good, Jennifer.
Actually, wrap up the day at the Magic Kingdom.
Right.
At that point, after that event, so there will be a break for dinner if you wanted to make dinner plans. I think a few people have informally mentioned possibly going to Trader Sam's because the event for that evening then is our Seas Lagoon soiree.
This I'm excited about.
Yep. So we will start at the Wave Lounge, which is inside the Disney's Contemporary.
Is that the wave of American flavors?
We're going back to the
It
wave.
is the wave of American
Yes.
flavors.
It's
That's
the
where we're
blue
starting
glowy
off.
one, isn't it?
Blue, yes,
Yes.
the blue room.
So I
Okay.
believe if you walk in, you hang a sharp right once
It's
you
the
get out of
ultra
the hallway.
lounge portion. Yep.
So that'll be the lounge. So we will start there.
Mhm.
We are
Look
starting
for
at
the blue
7
neon.
p.m. So 7 p.m. to start there.
Yep.
And then we will work our way around the Seven Seas Lagoon. So the places we have on tap for this are the Tambu
On
Lounge.
tap. Oh, good
On
one.
tap, yeah, you gotta
Nice.
keep Tambu Lounge at the Polynesian and Meisner's Lounge at the Grand Floridian. And hopefully, in amongst going between the resorts, we will also try to catch the electrical water pageant. Kind of a classic event there as well.
I don't know if this is true or not, but on the Twitters, somebody was saying that good old Irma took out a few of the floats from the water pageant.
What?
So there might not be, damaged them. Not destroyed it, but it needs to be fixed. So maybe it will happen, maybe it won't happen, but who cares? We're traveling around the Seven Seas Lagoon. And you know what I was thinking too is if you can't make it right at 7 o'clock to the wave, follow us on social media because we'll probably be like, okay, we're heading off to the next one. Meet us there, that kind of thing. So
Yep.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah, we'll probably
So-
be doing it on social media as far as documenting where we are and whatever. So you'll see it on the feed. So if you miss us one place, you'll see that we're heading to the next place. So
And are we doing the official Intercut beer cart?
we need
Or
to bring glow
alcohol
sticks
cart?
or something
What?
and all kind of jump in the same car on the
Yeah, to make
monorail.
the monorail the official ICOT beer cart, or excuse me, bar cart. No?
Yeah.
I
Okay,
know what you're
bad
talking
idea.
Glow sticks, make
I'll
it
bring
like
a
a
bunch
little
of
rave
glow
in there.
sticks.
It was a
Yeah.
bad
Never
idea.
raised
Sorry.
the monorail.
All right.
Well, that's where the whole idea
All right.
came from, was raving in the monorail.
There you go.
Right.
The what?
So that
Some
is
poor little family.
Of the doors. Por favor,
Por favor,
manténganse alejado de las
How do
puertas.
Some poor little family's gonna get stuck in our car.
or people stuck in the car with us. But hey, it's Disney. Have fun. All right, so that is Friday.
Right.
So then move on to Saturday, which is our Epcot day. So traditionally, Saturday's kind of been the main day of the Intercut events. I think it's almost always been at Epcot as well.
Yeah.
So that's our inspirational park for the site,
Yep.
since we are the internet community of tomorrow. So we are starting off that day at 9:30 a.m. It is our Soren and Sunshine Seasons breakfast.
And yes, we will wait for the ride as long as it takes.
Yes.
So just clearing that up
That early
before
in
it
the
gets
morning
asked.
is not gonna be a big lineup anyway.
And
Right,
someone
so-
asked on the feed, are we doing the ride first before breakfast? And yes, we are doing soaring
Yes.
first, then we
Yes.
will be eating.
Right.
So we will the plan is to actually meet outside by the land sign,
Yep.
just because it can get a little congested inside the pavilion there, as
Yep.
many people know. So we'll meet out by the land, and then we will do Soren around the world. And then after we come out, we'll just walk directly to Sunshine Seasons.
Yes.
For
And it'll be
breakfast.
either breakfast or lunch, depending on how long the line is.
It's true too.
I think we'll be
I think I looked breakfast. They actually don't publish the hours out more than like 14 days in advance, which was interesting. But
Yeah,
it looks like
people
they'll
complain.
open at 10 a.m. for breakfast, so we should still be there pretty early for the breakfast seating.
Perfect.
So after that, at 1 p.m., so again some free time there in the late morning. will be the Mickey Mouse Bar Club. So this is where we are going to meet for our ice cream Mickey bars.
And we're going to see the backside of water.
Yep.
Yes. Woo-hoo.
That's the side where there's like a little stage.
Yes.
Right here.
Basically the World Showcase side, essentially.
Right.
So.
Now
I have
they
this
usually
on my iPod.
Got the.
they always have a photo pass person taking pictures there.
Oh, that'd
Should
be
we
great.
try to maybe
Good
make
idea
that
there.
the official
Look
picture?
at Brainiac over there
We could.
bringing up stuff. That's awesome.
Smart man.
Good idea.
Because they always have, the photo pass people there.
that'd be
So
fun.
I think we
Solid.
should maybe try to make that our big official picture.
I
I'm
think
in.
That's a good idea. So try
Boom.
and be there, people.
Besides Gary's column.
I was saying we have one more coming up here in a minute, but sure, we have two. It's fine.
There's nothing wrong with a
So-
couple pictures.
Absolutely
we'll
not.
all pose with our half-eaten Mickey bars. And
Yes.
Chocolate on our faces.
then chocolate on our faces. So then once we finish those at 2 p.m., it's time to journey to the dark side of the dolls. It's our Grand Fiesta Tour, aka the Mexican Small World.
Right.
through.
Right.
So there's we were talking about the history of Intercut. There's kind of a long running joke with the
Joke?
Small World dolls being evil. Sorry.
This is no joke. The dolls are evil.
Serious crisis with
Back-faced.
Beanie
dolls.
weenies and
So we are encouraging you
Llamas.
to gather your silly
52.
string and beanie sombreros. And then we will meet inside the pyramid near the ride for that ride through.
cool.
If you go through the archives, you can maybe find some details on the lore of the evil side of the dolls.
And boat number 13 that
And
never
book number
came back.
13 that never came back. Yep.
Oh,
So then at
scary.
5 o'clock, so again a little bit of break in the afternoon there, is the Great Gary's Column Meet for ICOT 20 edition. So this is our official social media check-in event.
Mhm.
Encouraging everyone to use your social media site of choice.
Hashtag ICOT20.
Now, for those people
Use that
who
throughout
might
the whole
not
weekend, by the
know
way.
what Gary's column is,
Good luck. Yeah,
road
right.
furniture
The road
In-
furniture in
in
England.
the United Kingdom.
Right.
Yeah.
The UK.
So
Road
there is,
furniture.
if you look on our, actually, if you look on our Instagram just back a few days, Gary's column has already sensed that a gathering is coming. So we do have a picture of Gary's
Nice.
column up there.
Wow.
He
if you're
also
having
has his own
trouble finding it.
Facebook page that you can
There is.
tag.
It's
Yeah,
true.
If you like to yeah, join column and ask him questions, he'd be glad to talk to you
Right.
at some point in time.
So there's traditionally a offering of some sort of adult beverage. So we will
To
be,
column. Yes.
To column.
Yep.
So we will be partaking in that.
Yep.
If you'd like to join us for that event. And then at 6:30, perhaps the most exciting event of the whole Intercut weekend,
You bet your patootie it is.
the eighth wonder of the civilized world. You'll get to meet real live Canadians.
Wow.
That's right. Gather around.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
I didn't realize that this was gonna. This is amazing.
So
We
this
are
was
going
going to be
to-
fancy
once,
shirts.
a once in a lifetime event. folks.
Hold the
Okay,
phone.
I need to clarify something about this though, because I'm not.
Ian, we need to
I'm
get
not
like
sure.
Canadian hockey shirts or something and wear them to that event.
Oh no, we have
No,
stuff.
We
Oh,
have,
We're ready.
You got shirts?
We're ready.
You got
Yeah, yeah.
stuff? Toques?
Yeah, we're
we
good.
have prizes.
How about some back bacon?
Okay. This
Oh, that
says
makes what
that
we're
we're meeting near the
cross-dressed.
entrance
Six-pack
for
of
O
2 fours?
Canada. But I can't remember where the entrance to O Canada is. If you're This shows how often I actually go in the Canadian
it's
Pavilion.
Down
It's in the
by
cellar.
restaurant
Okay.
there.
Yeah.
Did there used to be the Kid Caught Fun Stop way down yonder down
Yeah,
there?
there
Yeah,
used
there still is.
used to be, yeah. It
That's
might
Okay.
be.
That's all I was wondering because
The
I know
Canadians
that
are
if you're
lost
standing
in their
there
own
looking
country.
at the totem
This is
poles and
not
up the
good.
stairs.
It's a not
then
a good
Canadian
to the right of
Pavilion
that.
does not look like Canada. Can
No.
we just get that out there? That's why we feel
What?
foreign
stuff.
there.
Come on.
Don't
don't
worry,
think
the,
I've-
the Canadian cast members are very friendly. They'll show you right where the entrance is. Just like
In
all-
their flannel, wearing their
in their flannel.
plaid flannel shirts.
So,
So we-
okay, so it's way back near the entrance.
Do we get
Is
some
that going to
crullers?
be like a crowded area if people are trying to go? Like, are we going to be
Check.
blocking the entrance to the show? No, I'm
Ideal-
just wondering.
We're-
I'm just
we're
wondering 'cause
polite. We
there's
won't
that
block any
area,
entrance.
and then there's like
You can't change
the
it now.
part at the very top of the stairs, way at the back, in between all the stores and buildings.
So are we
There's that
going
area,
down
too.
or are we going
That was
up?
too long to fit in the space provided.
Okay. No, that's fine. Wherever. Because I'll
Area
tell you
that's
what
She's
we're
assuming
doing.
like 100 people will be there too.
No,
you know?
no,
I mean,
no.
this is. I mean,
Hey, why
So-
wouldn't you
one
come
can
to this one?
dream, right?
So we'll keep you posted on where exactly we're meeting, but it is
No,
in the
that's fine. Keep
finite
it there.
Follow us on
Experience.
social media.
Right.
This
We
is for
have
the
trivia
100th
questions.
celebration. Yes, so there will
So
be trivia questions.
Start studying
Brushing up on your
Canada.
Canadian history.
Any
Wayne
suggested
Gretzky.
reading or
If you get them right,
Watch
You
a
get
lot
a-
of
a prize.
SCTV.
That's
Yeah. That's right.
John
And then I-
Candy.
Because that's the most
And-
accurate.
And then I
Rick
think the
Moranis.
plan is we will go learn all about Canada from Martin Short, who I believe is your prime minister. Is that
Yes,
how that
yes,
works?
that's
He's the
accurate.
king. He's
Sweet.
the king.
Sweet.
It's a
the
monarch.
King of
the
Canada.
King of Canada? Yes. okay.
King Martin.
I can name all the
Sweet.
provinces, I think. Does that get me anything?
Yes, that
Yes.
might.
Wow.
You might win a prize.
Pretty sure I can.
I can mention none.
You don't even know which one we live in, Justin?
The big one.
Toronto.
No,
That's
that's
a
the city, not the province.
Wow.
Quebec.
I don't
Well,
know.
that's the largest, but no.
Ontario.
There you
Yay!
go.
Yay!
Wow.
Okay, I got one.
And then
Good
there's
job.
Nova Scotia.
Moving on. All right.
So
From Canada.
all the
We
Yeah,
spent
don't
too
give
much
all the
time in
answers now.
Canada.
Not Canada.
Yeah.
We can't give away all the answers yet.
Yeah.
So then we got a kind of a dinner break for the evening, so
Right.
some free time, and then
And
drum
then,
roll.
drum
It
roll,
will
please.
be jelly
Wait.
rolls. The legend continues. So
Oh,
this
yeah.
has kind of
Oh,
been
Billy.
I think it's almost been a tradition through almost all the Intercot meets. So at 9 p.m. we will meet at Jelly Rolls, which is on the boardwalk. If you're
And
not
we'll
familiar
probably
with that.
just be inside, so come in and
Right.
find us.
Yep.
So just a short walk out the back of the International Gateway. So if you choose to stay in Epcot and then just walk over, that should be very convenient.
Yep.
And then we will have a enjoyable evening with dueling pianos and likely hijinks to ensue.
Yeah.
I take no responsibility for what happens that night.
There might be a waiver you have to sign, but
That-
don't let
She
the
takes no
security-
responsibility because she won't remember any of it. That's fine.
That's right. I don't want to know about it the next day either.
Oh, at
No,
least you won't be
that's fine.
What
flying the next
happened?
day.
Speaking of
Oh,
the
and by
next
the
day,
way, just a reminder: do not take video inside Jelly Rolls.
yeah, what
Oh,
happens? What
yes.
happens in Jelly Roll?
You're
Stations,
actually
Jelly
not
Rolls?
allowed
Big
because
Yeah,
kid.
you are
Remember,
not
I got-
allowed. Actually, that is true.
Got in trouble. Remember, the Mickey police came out and tried to confiscate my phone.
The Popo.
What happens at Jelly Rolls stays at Jelly Rolls.
that's
right.
right.
That's right.
So, next
moving
day,
on. Yep.
Sunday,
Final day.
Uh,
We're feeling great.
Our-
Sunday.
we'll be
Sunday.
feeling fine.
About 2 in
Sunday.
the afternoon when we all wake up.
Well, hopefully not. You'll miss a couple things. So at 9:30 a.m. will be our Pandora exploration. So of our events, this was kind of our more informal event. So we will try to explore Pandora with our group here. So we posted on the boards a couple times. This was the one event we would be utilizing FastPass for. So hopefully
Ian
you're
and
able
I
to
are screwed.
get a morning
Yeah.
fast
We're
pass.
right too, and ours
that's
is at
okay.
like 3:50 in the
John
afternoon.
And,
We don't
consult
have
with
any.
John and Ian. So we're going to meet near Creature Comforts. If anyone would like some coffee, follow
That'd be good.
Starbucks. Right? That's
Errols.
Starbucks.
And then we will walk over into Pandora, and
Just
we may
explore.
split off into different groups based on our fast passes. But in general, we'll try to stick together for our exploration.
And just
Uh,
to mention about Pandora, I know we're not going to be there at night, but I just finally got to see it at nighttime. Wow, it's amazing during the day, but at night takes it to a whole new level. I mean, to say they did a good job is a way understatement.
They did actually add hours in October while we're there. Animal Kingdom was going to close at 7. It's now been extended to 9.
But you could go back later.
So could go back later. Yep.
Right.
Yeah, because we were just there for a DVC event that they gave, and we were able to get in that night. And oh my God, it's amazing at night.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, once we have explored Pandora, we will head back out into the park at 12 noon for a lunch. So it'll be our Intercut 20th birthday barbecue. So this will be at Flame Tree Barbecue, which is there in the center of the park on Discovery Island.
Yep.
That's kind of always been a favorite quick service lunch spot, I think, for most intercotees. So we picked that location as a quick casual lunch.
Nice.
And then after that, shortly after that, since it's right next door, I guess we did this at Intercut 15. It will be our Bug Eye Challenge. So we're bringing that back. It's our informal fashion competition to see who can look the best with their bug eyes.
Nobody looks good with those things.
Speak for yourself.
Lots of pictures will be taken.
Yes.
Will be taken. So, so join us inside the Tree of Life with your closest Intercut friends, and of course, a few thousand insects.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So once we come out of that, then is our gathering at the watering hole.
Hair the dog.
Or that. So Dawa Bar, that's kind of been a favorite watering hole, so to speak, for a lot of intercotees at Animal Kingdom.
Yes.
So as we said, grab a libation and enjoy some lively conversation with your
There's
intercot.
also usually a lot of really nice, like they have that little African band that's playing outside of there, and
Yep.
it's a nice.
Animal Kingdom is the best bar on property, without question.
Absolutely.
So that will be at 2 p.m., 2 o'clock p.m. if you would like to
be there.
join us there. So actually with that,
yes,
that will wrap up our day at Animal Kingdom. And kind of be the last sort of true event, I guess, if you will, of the celebration.
Yep.
But we're not done yet, folks.
Wait.
There's more.
Wait, there's more.
So at 5 o'clock, we are inviting everyone over to the Contemporary Resort out by the outdoor snack bar. I guess that's near the pool. For the Intercut Insider Live Podcast Live, the sequel. That's still redundant.
Yes.
So that will be kind of our sequel to the Intercut 15. We had a live podcast. So if you're a fan of this show and you enjoy it, it's actually your chance to be on the podcast.
So actually, I was thinking about this. So maybe we should do this as a video, like a live video instead.
I'm in. I would do it.
That's cool.
Okay.
Just a thought.
What, like a Facebook Live?
Yeah.
If the connection is good.
Well, I mean, we can check that out, I'm sure. But
yeah, we can do video. I'm sure we can. I've
usually we're not in the parks there, so I mean, we should be all right.
I agree.
Hopefully.
I agree.
Can you hook up
famous last words?
Now, can you hook up microphones and everything? Or you'll have like a central microphone, right? If I remember in ICOT 15, you had that?
If it's just Facebook Live, it'll be
no. If it's just Facebook Live,
phone.
it's essentially the phone on a tripod or something. So essentially, unless I bring my Mevo device, which
bring your Mevo device.
Whatever you decide is good with me.
I don't know. I'm thinking out loud here. I'm like, last time we brought I think it was a 4-track recorder or something and a couple microphones, and it was a whole thing. And I mean, we're in the age of video, man. The peeps want the video. So I'm just saying it might be interesting to be able to do it as a Facebook Live. Anybody know how to do external microphones on Facebook Live? Yeah. I mean, the Mevo would do that, but it's a thought.
You're the guy that used to work for the Errols thing.
I know. I know.
This is your cup of tea.
This is my bailiwick.
I think that'd be really.
Can't ask your husband how to do it. Doesn't he know how to do these things?
You ask him. I don't know what I'm supposed to ask.
All right,
Too technical.
Never mind. I mean, if you can, never mind. We'll just.
I'll see what I can find out.
That's fine. We'll test the Mevo. We'll have to do that at some point. Anyway. All right. Did we lose somebody?
Oh.
What was that
noise?
noise?
I don't know what that noise was. I think it was the Mevo.
I turned it down so I could cough. Did you hear that?
No, Jen and I are having picture wars.
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's what it is.
I caught 15 pictures.
All right. So anyway, that's it. I mean, we're going to end with the podcast, go out with a bang, and hopefully do it live so that those who couldn't make it maybe can actually feel some portions of it. And maybe we'll even utilize Ian's crack. What are you doing, Ian? There's a whole different show going on inside the show right now. So even if you can't make it, you'll at least feel like you're there with the rest of us, which would be kind of cool. So anyway.
Sounds like a good idea.
All right. So I'll look at the pictures in a minute. But moving on. So ICOT 20, by the way, that is the 13th through the 15th of October. Still time to book. Still time to go there if you're within driving distance. Blah, blah, blah. Be there, be square.
Blah, blah,
20
blah,
Order
blah,
your
years.
T-shirts.
All joking aside,
order
it
your
is so
T-shirts.
much fun.
And let me put it this way. There may not be a 25. So enjoy the 20 while it
Way to be
lasts.
positive, John.
I know, you just never know, right?
Well, I'll still
I mean,
be
it's-
there in 5 years. You
I mean,
guys
it's
can come
amazing.
hang out with
It's
We'll
me.
just go hang out. Like,
You
whatever.
know, yeah.
You don't need a reason.
Then it'll
We'll
be
just
like
go.
a reunion. We'll be like a high school reunion.
But
just,
all honesty, I met you guys 5 years ago,
yes.
and it was awesome. And it's been a great friendship since, and we're having
look at
lots
that.
of fun. So
And now you're
there you go.
podcasting.
Yeah, now you're part of the. Part
Look at me now.
You're in there.
Who would have thunk it?
Look at me now. So yeah, join us, please, and be sure and call Magical Journeys, yourmagicaljourneys.com, and also the official ticket center for your tickets if you don't have them already. Patrick and the crew will hook you up, and Nancy and crew at Magical Journeys will definitely hook you up with the best room rates possible, and keep an eye on specials and things like that. And, they'll do you right. So
They are awesome with that.
yep, and they will be sharing the spotlight there and via their trivia contest, and are also helping us run the show. So
Awesome.
So that's ICOT 20. Check it out. What else do we got? We got Disney news with a little bit. We got some stuff we can do before we fly the coop,
So
per se.
we talked about Epcot quite a bit here for the ICOT events. Speaking of events at Epcot,
Yes.
I think we had pontificated on one of the prior podcasts that, gee, it seems like they're heading towards an international festival year-round at Epcot.
Yeah.
Well,
the
hey,
nonstop
guess what?
festivals.
Just got
Isn't that what
announced.
Epcot
Is
is?
there another one?
Yeah, there's another one. So
There's always another one.
they are ending holidays around the world. So they will not have that for 2017. In its place will be the Epcot International Festival of the Holidays. So they're saying it will
Wait, it says the
include
4th annual, so that would imply it was done before.
no, the 4th annual International Festival, not the
Okay.
4th annual.
Like for 4 years, they were doing holidays around the world, but now it's changing names.
Fine. So there are now 4
No,
different
holidays
annual-
around the world is a lot older than 4 years.
Oh,
confused.
there's 4 festivals now.
There's now 4 annual
Four
festivals. at
festivals happening
Oh,
annually.
I get it.
Yes. Yeah, it's like
Okay,
a
I get
planned
you, I get
annual thing, not a
Ah,
I'm so
Yes.
confused.
fuck.
Got it.
English language. So confusing. So they are promising that it'll have a lot of the elements of holidays around the world, although they weren't specifically detailed about that. So the other thing it'll have, hold on to your hats, folks, holiday kitchens. All
The
over.
what?
So food kiosks.
Listen to our enthusiasm about the kitchen thing.
Where's your cricket sound effect?
I think it's not here. I'm missing it. I'll have to hook it up again.
So they'll be celebrating, basically each food kiosk will celebrate either a different cultural interpretation of a wintertime holiday or a holiday itself. So they've announced there will be 15 different holiday kitchens. So that will be the down a little bit from like what you're seeing at the Food and Wine Festival right now. I think they have 35 kiosks for the 35th anniversary of that event, or excuse me, of Epcot, not of the event itself. Yeah, so some concern for people who really enjoyed the holidays around the world on what exactly, if that will be scaled back at all, or if they're just adding the food kiosks. That hasn't been clear, but that will be a new festival event for Epcot.
So I guess the Wonders of Life Pavilion will be used again as the festival headquarters.
That's very likely, yes. Although I don't think they mentioned that specifically. They didn't mention the Odyssey would be used. That will be, I think it was Christmas cookies or something will be served there.
All right. There we go. I got it working. You asked
So,
for it.
Well, we just went into the festival, the Wonders of Life festival for the food and wine. And, I mean, it was early in the morning, but there was nobody in there. I mean, well, then again, we were also there right after Irma, so the parks were very empty to begin with. But there was nobody in there.
Is it just me? All of these festivals kind of seem like the same festival. Like, I don't even know the difference. They all have their little food
They're all
booths.
the same thing. The Festival of Overpriced Food and Beverages.
Yeah, it's all like 1 year-long festival. That's all it is to me. I don't know.
I mean, just play devil's advocate for a minute. This one will be a little bit more seasonal because it is going to be. It's not just like they're going to have like random Santa's rack of lamb or something. They're actual
Santa's rack of lamb.
They're actual traditional
Santa's reindeer
like
steak.
They'll have they have a Feliz Navidad kiosk we've already mentioned, which will be kind of like those traditional dishes or American, almost like colonial Christmas dishes they're having. I think they'll have classic Hanukkah dishes, so those types of things. So they'll go through the different cuisines, but overall, yes, I'm sure there will still be some things you could probably get there year round, but at least this one will feel a little bit different as opposed to say are they the garden kitchens or something at the Flower and Garden Festival?
The Flower and Garden Festival and Wine and Food.
That then
Festival.
go into the Food and Wine Festival. Those seemed all very similar. The International Festival of the Arts did have some different stuff, I remember, because they tried to make it very like food art related.
Right.
But yeah, the Flower and Garden one into the Food and Wine, that one definitely does all blur together. So we'll see. It'll be the first year they've done it. They did already announce earlier this year that the International Festival of the Arts will be back in January and February of 2018. So that one was enough of a success for them to continue it. So we'll see what happens with this. But if
that a long time ago, remember like Festival of the Masters? I mean, that's what that was all about.
Yeah, that's kind of what that replaced essentially.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it was
the time of year is different though, wasn't that in like November?
No, I thought Festival of the Masters was in spring. I might be wrong, but I mean, it's been a while.
Yeah. I think they ended it before they started that one, but yes, a lot of people drew comparisons to that event. So if you're looking for new Christmas time events and that does not excite you, there are a few more they've announced for 2017. At Disney's Hollywood Studios, they're going to have a couple new events this year. So Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam, the fireworks show will be returning. But there is also going to be a new show this year called Sunset Seasons Greetings. So it will be essentially a projection show all along and down Sunset Boulevard. So it sounds like the different billboards are going to change and they're going to do different projections upon the Hollywood Tower Hotel.
I have to say, I read the description of that, and it sounded really cool. Like, I mean, I don't know how it's going to play out in person, but the description sounded really neat. I'd be curious to check it out and see what it's like. Hopefully somebody will post some video.
Yeah, that starts November 9th, and it'll run through the end of the year. They weren't really clear on, like, does it go off every 15 minutes? Is it a one-time, a night show? So we're still kind of waiting on those details because Sunset Boulevard doesn't have a super large area for people to kind of stand at, especially if you want to be all the way back to see everything along the boulevard. There's not going to be a lot of area there, so it'll be interesting to see if it happens like every 20 minutes.
Yeah. That was my assumption for that. I kind of got the sense it would be like, you'd kind of walk along, and if it was going off, you'd check it out. Because there's not, you're right, you can't gather there for a show. Right. I mean, first of all, it would clog up the entire entrance and exit to the park. Although I guess they do that for parades too, so I don't know. But yeah, that was the thought I had too, that maybe it'll just be like, kind of like they used to do for Osborne Spectacle. Like,
right. So not quite the same replacement to many people's holiday time favorite there, but it will be something. They are adding something new this year to a park, as we mentioned on the last podcast. It's kind of a major construction zone at the moment. So that's
I'm
not
still holding out hope that the Osborne lights come back after all the construction.
Only thing. It could. anything's possible with Disney. With Disney, all things are possible.
There you go.
The other event that they're having, someone apparently took a alliteration class, will be the Flurry of Fun event. So this will be basically in the Echo Lake area. So probably the only other area of the park not under construction at the moment.
Right.
This will be kind of just more of an overlay, so don't have any grand expectations for it. But there will be a very large Christmas tree in the center of Echo Lake. So I'm not quite sure what that will look like. And
like a
Gertie,
tree floating on water, probably. I'm guessing. Just saying.
It was like growing up out of the water. Is there going to be like a stand or something? I don't know.
Well, Echo Lake was drained when I was just there. I think that was for the storm, but it was still drained as of Thursday.
They were repainting it. That was actually a planned refurbishment.
Okay.
Or at least planned once maybe they found out the storm was coming. But and Dinosaur Gertie, which if you're an animation buff, you'll know is one of the original, many people consider the original character animated cartoon, will be dressed up with a Dino Santa hat. So they're kind of just doing a whole overlay of that area. And then the other portion of that event is Santa Claus returning to Once Upon a Time on Hollywood Boulevard. I believe that's one of the stores along there. He will only be available till Christmas Eve, of course. And then Santa Goofy will be doing character meet and greets there through the end of the year, starting the 25th through the 31st. So kind of some new events there at Disney's Hollywood Studios and at Epcot this year. So that's what's going on if you're planning a Christmas or end-of-year trip at Walt Disney World.
Excellent.
Very good.
Nice.
Excellent.
Well, speaking of
That was
creepy
my
things,
Creepy. What?
we are kind of officially in the Halloween season.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
How about
which
that?
Still, Disney starts for Labor Day.
Having done, by the way, I did, since we last talked, did the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, and it rained it.
Yep,
out,
saw
pretty
that.
much. Yeah.
Yep.
So
We went to the very first one, and it rained also.
I'd give you big reports, except for the fact that I really didn't get to see much because it rained. So, I mean, it was kind of a bummer. Saw the fireworks as we were leaving the park.
We saw the fireworks. We saw the
soaked.
parade. The parade was a little cut short because it was raining. Some of the stuff was there. Some of the stuff was still the same. Wasn't that much different. The candy stops were more or less the same.
Yep.
Same attractions were open, so it was fun. We had a good time.
Yeah. No,
But like I said, it rained at ours also. Not as heavy as yours though.
No, it was to the point where we just decided to leave because it was crazy, and we had planned on getting up for Pandora the next morning, and then we went to Pandora, and Pandora was broken.
The the banshee outside should have told you.
Yeah, exactly. Which was kind
Wouldn't
of
it be
sad.
like the banshee out front should have told you?
So yeah, no, I mean, look, stuff happens. So I didn't get upset about it, but the fact was we got up. It was an early entry day for Animal Kingdom, so we got up to be there an hour before the early entry day. So it was pretty early, and got there. And as we were waiting in line, the cast members said, "Yeah, sorry, folks, Pandora's broken." To which half the audience still went right to Pandora to walk around and just queue up and wait until Pandora came back online shortly before noon.
So the whole land was closed?
Both rides were not operating.
Okay.
I don't know whether they chose, basically because Flight of Passage was having issues, to not open the other ride, only because it would be like a 4-hour wait, for a river ride.
I guess I'm surprised they wouldn't let you in like the restaurants or shops, though.
They did. No, they did.
Oh, okay.
They did.
Okay.
So they did let folks in to actually see it, which was great because we actually went on to do every single ride in the park easily. But yeah, it was It was interesting that the way that happened. A guy completely lost his stuff, shall we say, behind us and started shouting at cast members, "You have one job! You have one job! It's supposed to be open! You should have tested this!" To which his daughter's like, "Daddy, what's going on?" It was not a good scene.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. So it happened, but everybody's like, shoving the guy up. Like, what are you doing? Knock it off. So, it did open later in that day. And, it's a technically complex ride. Stuff happens. Like I told my son. I was like, what are you going to do? Let's go have some fun. So we turned it into a 4-park day.
Perfect. Cool.
That's good.
So we hit all the major attractions in each and every park. So, and we did them all. So, which was cool. But anyway, moving on. Yeah, sorry.
So, so it's about getting close to the time of year. First day of autumn's around the corner, so people are likely starting to decorate their homes for Halloween.
Yep.
So if you would like to decorate your dining room with chairs from the Haunted Mansion, that is now
How much would that cost, Jason?
Available.
Just wondering.
You might be surprised. We want to
Really?
do prices right on this?
For one chair?
Prices
Well, wait,
right
wait,
on
hold
What
on.
are we
I
talking
need to
about?
understand- Wait.
Hold on.
I'm
$1.
out. We need a clarification here. What does this mean? A chair from the Haunted Mansion. What
Like
is
a
it?
similar chair.
So they are offering two types of chairs. I will describe them since we don't have.
It's not an
They're
actual
not-
prop.
They're not from the Haunted
No,
Mansion.
they're not from the Haunted Mansion.
Good enough. I get it.
So they're two dining room table chairs. One is a camelback side chair. It has the Haunted Mansion wallpaper print on it in purple and black. So it's a camelback, means there's like no arms to it. And then the other chair is the ghost host chair. So this is like the host chair for the end. So it's a little bit more ornate, and it does have arms on it.
And is it like wood on the legs and?
Yes.
Around-
So they are wood
I'm
chairs.
gonna
I don't
guess.
know what type of wood, but
$295.
I'm gonna go higher. I'm saying $395.
I'm going to go above that.
$395 average, like in the middle between the two prices of the chairs.
I go $398.
Wait, are they
$1.
the same price? I would think the second one was
they are
more
not.
expensive.
Yeah, they are
So
not the same.
pick a price in the middle.
No. Why don't we go
501.
for the most expensive one? Shouldn't we be?
Okay,
Okay,
for the,
yeah. So
for the
let's
expensive
go for the ghost host chair. How much do you think the
Okay.
ghost
Okay.
host chair is?
700.
Oh,
$465 each.
$550.
$1.
Okay, well, none of you came nearly close to going over. Would you like to go again?
Oh my God, they're more than that.
No one got it even. No one even got 50% of the actual cost.
All right.
Oh,
Hold on. Wait. Wait, hold on.
465 times 2.
Wait.
I said 700, so that times 2 would be 1,400.
$3,412.
All right. Ian, you want to put in?
I'm saying 1,100 for one chair.
My mouth is too busy hanging open.
Okay,
in shock.
1,200 for the cheaper chair.
$12.95.
I believe-
$12.96.
Okay, well, Justin wins.
Yes.
What do you say? 3,142.
Actual retail price is
$3,412.
Yeah, the actual retail price for the ghost host chair is 4,000 even.
Oh my gosh.
The
For
camelback side chairs are 2,000 a piece.
Oh my God.
Why don't you just
Buy
spend
the
money and
fabric.
buy some fabric and
And find some
reupholster your
cool
dining chair?
antique
I
chairs.
was-
You 100%. I guarantee you, if one of the actual Haunted Mansion chairs came up for auction, it would sell for less than that.
Yeah. So I mean,
They have real dishes from the Haunted Mansion set.
they
sell.
are special order. So I mean, they're making them as you order them. But
Yeah,
still, I mean,
nobody's order them.
Yeah.
I work in a business of basically special ordered, very high end equipment, and no, we'd have people very, angry at that pricing structure for this type of thing. So that
Oh my
was
god.
very
Like they just,
kind of surprising. So they are
If
at the
you're
order
gonna have
price.
an ornate dining room set, you're gonna need what, 6 chairs at least?
Right. So you're going to spend
Yeah.
24 grand on your chairs? I mean, and actually, I would say 8 is really more right? So you're supposed to spend $32,000 on your Haunted Mansion
And
chair?
just chairs.
Not
Just
the
chairs.
table.
I mean, don't get me
Sure, I
wrong.
that.
There are,
Yeah.
you know what? You know
There
who's
are
going to
people
buy
who-
these things? The
who?
people who live in Golden Oak.
There
Yeah,
you go.
maybe.
Maybe.
Boom.
Pure pocket change.
So there is one more item,
Okay.
which is a little bit better priced. They
Oh.
have a Haunted Mansion mirror.
Okay.
It has a frosted image of the caretaker, the hitchhiking ghost,
Mhm.
Madame Loida, the
Yep.
bride, and the Hatbox Ghost. which
It's
I
only
think was-
$2,400.
which I think was interesting because the Hatbox Ghost at Walt Disney World.
No.
No,
it's
just
only
Disneyland.
at
Disneyland.
I found that interesting that he's on the one that they're selling at the Marketplace Co-op. So one more round.
Okay, how big is this mirror?
I'd say it's about maybe 24 inches long, maybe about
24
Like
2
an
feet?
oval? Is it an
2 feet long.
oval?
It looked pretty long. They don't give measurements, but they just showed a picture of it. No, it's like a
14
square.
$14.95.
Nah, $5.95.
$9.99.
$1.
1,000.
All right,
You jerk! That's
Jen-
$1
Jen-
higher than
Jennifer wins because you all went over.
Oh.
Yay.
That is for some insane reason because they were just spinning a wheel to come up with these prices. $250. So still pricey for a mirror, but I mean there are other Disney, art and higher end souvenirs.
When you say
I
it's
mean,
a
that
mirror with
price-
those guys on it, though, like it's etched on the glass.
Yeah, it's just at the bottom of it.
So if I'm checking my hair, like there's a guy in
You
front
can
of me.
see the ghosts.
No, it's kind of just at the bottom, almost like a logo of it.
Oh,
it's
okay.
not-
It'd
wouldn't
actually be
be-
really cool if they were like the hitchhiking ghosts. And
Yeah,
they
that's what I thought.
illuminated.
You know,
That
somehow,
would
yeah,
be
that-
cool.
yeah.
That'd be cool.
I'd buy that for.
And they
200.
moved?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that'd be-
they
so
only
take your head
showed
off,
up
switch
occasionally.
your
They
head,
light
your
up
cut,
from the back.
something.
Yeah, exactly. They take your head off and then
See, I actually
Twin it,
have
spin
themed
it.
my bathroom as Haunted Mansion, so I would like that mirror.
what the?
She
Yeah.
has. Tell it what you have in there. She has like a little bird's nest with a crow on it, and she has all the stretching portraits.
Do you
and
realize you
purple
said tell
towels.
her about it and you just
And
told
then
us
you
about
told us
it?
about
Wait,
it.
Oh,
wait,
yeah,
hold on.
sorry.
What?
Good job,
I do
Carolyn.
that.
What?
I do that.
Wait, what?
Okay, you can tell them what I made.
And
What?
Carolyn made me a little cross stitch that says "Tomb Sweet Tomb," and that hangs on the wall.
Huh.
And the walls are green, like kind of that antique-y green color.
What, you
and
don't
it's
have
just
the
like
powder
purple
room?
hand towels and purple garbage can, and
You need the
Yeah,
wallpaper
wrought
that has
iron.
the fuzzy stuff on it and the foil.
Velvet,
I would
Yeah.
love to find
the
that.
mask.
I'll bet you could find it online.
Yeah.
It's
Well, we'll have
somewhere out
we'll have to look at Intercut 20. So
Maybe this
all those
year.
items
Yep.
are at the Marketplace Co-op in Disney Springs.
Wow.
So along with I think some other Haunted Mansion decor, but those were the new and shockingly expensive items that they are actually selling there.
Shockingly expensive.
Frightfully expensive.
Nice.
They'll
We've
be
got
on sale at that.
We've got time for a
outlet
few
store
more
shortly.
things here. A few quick hitters.
All right, what do we want to hit?
If you were.
Doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop.
What
Disney
else is
After
good?
Hours
Yes.
is returning for 2018. So they did announce that.
What does that mean? Is that like,
That is
get a
the
lanyard.
reincarnated e-ticket nights.
wait a minute? Really?
It's a limited ticketed event.
Right. But it
Far more
costs
limited than any of the
boatload,
parties.
right?
It
Okay.
does.
Yeah,
I'm looking for the
expensive.
price. The new price is $119.
Oof. For how long?
Plus,
think
plus a
someone said
park
that was
admission, or can
down.
you just show up at night?
No, I think that's the you get entry into the park at 7 p.m.
Okay.
and the park will remain open until 11 p.m. on some nights and midnight on other
hours?
nights. So you would
5
probably want to
hours?
pick those nights.
Yes.
And actually, the
there's-
119 is if you buy them in advance. If you do not,
At the gate?
at the gate it's 124.
Hmm.
Okay, I'm confused. Is this a ticket you get to use over multiple nights?
Nope.
No.
It's just one night.
It's
And-
like
paying
a Mickey's Not So
120
Scary Halloween party, but without a Halloween party, just less people being allowed to be in the park.
So I'm
Right.
paying the same price as a full ticket, but just to go
More.
out in the evening.
For 4
With
or 5
less
hours.
people.
There
less
there
people.
were some concessions included in that. I'm not seeing it in the write-up for 2018. It is the same price for adults and children which had some people kind of unhappy about that. But if you do have an annual pass or Disney Vacation Club, it actually is $89 per ticket. So they do give you a little bit of a discount there. Cindy, who wasn't able to join us tonight, I think actually said it was a very good experience when she did it. It really is very low crowds, I think, in a lot of people's experiences, but it's just up to you if that's a commiserate price for you to have that experience or not.
We did it 2 years ago, I think. One of the first years that they had it, they offered it free for DVC owners the one night.
Maybe it was just last
I happened to be there. Maybe it was last year. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah.
And was that the one that they gave free food? I think they gave you free food. At the I remember a couple places, like one was the Tomorrowland Noodle Terrace. They had, I don't remember what kind of food, but they had stuff.
It was like
desserts,
popcorn, desserts, Mickey bars. I think you get like unlimited Mickey bars.
Right, or something like that. So I mean, it was nice and everything. I mean, we got it for free, so I mean, free is always good. But the crowds were very limited, but I think that was also because it was one of the first ones that they'd done. They gave a free day of. It was also a race weekend. It was Star Wars race weekend, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. I guess we should say what the dates of this are.
That would be helpful.
So in case you're interested, they are January 19th, 26th, and 30th, February 8th and 15th, March 1st and 8th. So not a lot of dates there, but if you're going during those times or would like to plan going during those times, tickets are, I believe, currently available for that event.
Cool. Anything else, or are we?
Probably should mention that Chef Mickey's went back on the refurb schedule.
Uh-oh.
So it was actually on earlier this year, and then it got canceled. But right now it's back. They don't have exact dates announced yet because they are not actually ending the character breakfast or any of the other meals during that time. They're just displacing the event. So if you have a Chef Mickey's character dining reservation between late November through December 2017, there's a good chance you still have your meal. You still have the same characters and the same buffet.
You're going to be at the Wave or something? Or what?
No, at the convention center, actually.
Oh. That's interesting.
So they have, oddly being this close, not announced what the exact dates are. So cast members are saying to check upon check-in. Ask them where the location of your character dining experience would be during.
How that'll work.
It sounds like they'll just have one of the ballrooms or conference centers.
That's what I was thinking.
Permanently for the character event during.
Yeah, there was actually a smaller one of the rooms off to the side that I could see them doing that in. But
so they've promised it'll be the same buffet, same characters, just a different location. So you don't have the monorail coming by overhead, which I know a lot of people enjoy. But so if that is important to you, you may want to check during that time and make alternative plans. If you just want the buffet and characters, it sounds like you'll still have that experience.
Cool. Excellent. All right, guys. Carolyn, wake up. Wake up, Carolyn.
I'll see you all in 24 days, 10 hours.
Yeah, see you soon.
Whoa-ho.
See you at the Hangar Bar.
Indeed. So mark your calendar, 13th through the 15th of October. Intercut 20. Be there.
Come on down, people. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Buy a T-shirt. Join all your friends here at Intercut, including everyone on this podcast, which is very cool. Yep. So meet us in person. Yeah, we'll sign autographs, though you won't want them. We'll just sign them anyway. We'll just start signing your stuff.
Start signing random things.
Yeah, we could give out the pre-signed cards like they have now at some of the
pre-signed cards. That's not happening.
Giving out pre-signed
I'm signing all
like
the
Walt
I'm
Disney
signing
did
everyone's
that.
T-shirt is going to be signed. That's it. We're just gonna start signing them with the Sharpie.
Sharpies.
Yeah.
No choice. They're just going to start getting signed.
What did that guy do? I don't know. He signed my shirt. It's weird. Mommy.
Don't stand too close to our group. You might get your shirt.
Exactly. So anyway, join us. It is right around the corner, and we promise you will have a great time. So for Ian, Carolyn, Justin, Jason, Jennifer, myself, John, holy moly.
J4.
Yeah, J4. J4 in the house.
R5.
Exactly. We are out of here. Bye now. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good night, everyone.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Come on now.
Bye-bye.
See you all real soon.
102's in the can.
Electric Boogaloo.